Now, my reason for pausing at this point and delving deeper into Paul is that much of what will occur for the remainder of Acts will involve Paul to varying levels. There's no more misunderstood, misquoted, influential source for Christian doctrine than Paul. So it is vital that we do all we can to uncover what Paul intends to tell us. Yet we can no more hope to understand what Paul meant by the things he did and he said in his many letters that dominate the New Testament than we can hope to understand what Homer meant by what he said in his great epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, or by what Tolstoy said in War and Peace, until we understand them as the unique individuals that they were, who lived in a particular time in history and in the context of their culture, their language, their upbringing, their education, their life experiences. Every writer speaks from the position of their own particular worldview, the lens through which they see history and happenings unfold and interpret them, even if they weren't fully conscious of it. So to pretend as though Paul was a blank sheet of paper who didn't have a personal worldview, or that whatever it was that he wrote is so mysterious that it transcends whatever worldview he may or may not have held, is not only illogical, it makes him less than human. And for those theologians and Bible commentators who demand that Paul is culturally neutral, or that his words have little or no connection to who he is as a human person, it's for no other reason than for that writer or translator to be fully freed to make whatever he or she wants to make out of Paul's words. So I've been putting together a picture for you of who the historical Paul is before we examine what he says, where he came from, what influenced his religious and societal thoughts and beliefs, and what the terms he regularly used meant to him within the context of his particular Jewish experience. It is complicated because just like for anyone, we can't be entirely described and labeled according to only one aspect of our lives. We can no more fully describe Paul by using the term Jew and thus anticipate his actions and reactions and thought processes than we can fully describe a random person as a Christian and assume too much only from that. This becomes especially important when some of the most critical doctrines that are foundational to our faith as believers in Christ comes directly from the writings of Paul. Now, for those listeners who might think that what I'm covering is not something that anyone but a Bible academic needs to know, think again. For 21st century Western Gentiles, even though you might not realize it, Paul couldn't be more of a foreigner to us. So let's continue adding to Paul's biography. Pardon me.